Folks, it doesn't matter how good the deal is. I'll explain what I mean and then get into the latest home prices and insights for condos across the GTA for week ending August the 6th, 2025. If you want to speak directly with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video, in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. You know, these condo prices being softer, trending down, however you want to put it, there's more and more people looking at these prices now, especially in the entry-level condo type pricing. They're finding it attractive, and it's making some people make decisions to buy where maybe they wouldn't in the past. I've spoken to several people in this situation recently. I had a conversation just last week. A gentleman calls me and says, Santo, I want to buy a condo. Tells me the building, tells me which condo, had it all lined up that this is the one he wants to buy. He's seen the price lower than what it's ever been before. And as we're talking about this, I learned more about his life and what's going on. And in about a year from now, he's looking to get married, and then shortly after that, start a family. Now, the condo he's looking to buy is a one-bedroom condo. And I said, well, if your wife, I'm assuming you're going to be living together naturally, you're going to get married in about a year, and she's moving in, isn't the one-bedroom going to be tight? He goes, yeah, but we can make do. And then you said you were going to start a family shortly after that, like right away. You're definitely not going to be able to live your life in the one-bedroom condo. He goes, no, I know, but we'll make other arrangements after that. And I said, so why not buy, say, a two-bedroom plus den? It has more long-term implications. Like you could use the space more long-term. And he says, well, I can't afford to buy the two-bedroom now, but the one-bedroom prices are very attractive to me. That's what I want to buy. And we're looking at this, and my advice to him, and the same advice I'm giving to everybody right now, don't buy just because the price is so attractive. There should be long-term use. The space should suit your needs more long-term. If it doesn't, then maybe wait, save some more money, maybe wait to be in a position to buy something that will suit your needs more long-term. If the implication is that you buy because the price is good, and you may be in a position in a very short period of time where that space isn't useful anymore, and you're going to have to get into multiple transactions in a short period of time, it's not going to work out for you. You're better off just waiting, maybe continue renting if that's what you're doing, until you can afford something that will satisfy your living arrangements more long-term. If you feel this video can help somebody please pass it along. And if you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. Now, let's get into the numbers. Here we go, folks. Everything you want to know about the condo market across the GTA. I'm going to start off, though, with a chart. I brought it up on yesterday's show for the city of Toronto. I'm going to bring it up today. It has to do with power of sale, just to let you know where we're at. Power of sales are way up. When we compare this year, January to July, versus last year, January to July, power of sales are up 63%. But last year, power of sales were up from the previous year, and the previous year they were up also from the previous year before that, when they were a bit more stable and steady and somewhat lower. Well, that was 2022 was the last time. Well, currently, if we compare January to July 2025 to January to July 2022, power of sales are up 577%. Yes, it's a real number. You've heard it correctly. Power of sales are up 577%, comparing this year, January to July, versus the year 2022, January to July. Huge increase. Let's look at the sales data. This is the charts, or this chart shows sales and average price data per month going back multiple years. This is for condo apartments only for the city of Toronto. For month ending July 2025, 1,028 condos were sold, a little bit higher than the previous year, a little bit higher than the year before that, a little bit higher than July 2022, but substantially lower than July 2021. So somewhat, just not by much, a little bit, sales every July has been a little bit higher, starting from 2022 onward, a little bit more sales than the previous year for the same month. Average sold price is $684,000. Again, that's for the month of July 2025. $684,000 is 8.6% lower than where the price was last year, July, 9% lower than July 2023, 8% lower than July 2022, and 4% lower than July 2021. So if we just go basically looking at the last 3 years or so, it's pretty safe to say average price for condos, average sales price is down 8 to 9% over the last few years. If we go back a little bit further and we look at 2019 prices, the average price is actually up by 9%. That's a rundown over multiple years, what's happening with condo prices. Back to our regular programming. Data broken down by week. For week ending August the 6th, we got Peel Region condos way down here, less than $500 for the average sold price, $500,000. York Region, City of Toronto, average price for all these areas trending downwards. We're going to start off with the City of Toronto, week ending August the 6th. Sales are down quite a bit over the previous weeks. I will say, I'm just going to throw it out there, it was a long weekend. Typically, sales are fewer over a long weekend. So for week ending August the 6th, 117 condos were sold. 6 of those sold at $1 million or more. Average sold price is $653,000. Average sold price since mid-May has been trending downwards. Pretty clear. So $653,000 is 5% lower than the same week a year ago. The median price of $588,000 is 4% lower than the same week a year ago. Dotted line, the 4-week moving average, shows average price and median price trending down. 117 were sold. 19 of those, so 16%, sold at list price or more. Listings, overall listings are trending down. They are up from the previous week, which I gotta say, at this time of year, it's a little bit unexpected. July, August, sales, listings seem to almost every year trend down. Listings are up. 700 new condo listings for week ending August the 6th. Active listings is trending down. Of all the condos available for sale in the City of Toronto, 2%, only 2% actually sold for week ending August the 6th. And months of inventory, because sales dropped so much, shot way up to 11.6 months of inventory. That's a long weekend, months of inventory. Let's look at the city broken down into 9 different sections, 9 different neighborhoods. If we're saying the city is sitting at 11.6 overall months of inventory, well, some areas are hovering around that. Downtown, 10.6 months of inventory. East York Riverdale Beaches, 10.4. High Park, 10.4. Weston Yorkdale, 10.8 months of inventory. Etobicoke, 10.4 months of inventory. Then you get areas like Scarborough, a little bit higher at 13.4. Uptown, sitting at 8.2 months of inventory. 22 sales were done in Uptown. So you're going to have different experiences. If you're right in the middle, Midtown, York Mill, Rosedale, look, there were only 6 condos sold, 29 months of inventory. These are, though, long weekend data. So, let's see how things kind of taper out over the next few weeks. Let's look at condos broken down more in a 1-bedroom versus 2-bedroom. So for 1-bedroom condos, 57 were sold for week ending August the 6th. Average sold price of a 1-bedroom condo is $557,000. That price has been trending down, not aggressively, but overall trending down. Compared to the same week a year ago, it's 3% lower year over year. Here's a 2-bedroom condo. 51 2-bedroom condos were sold. Average sold price is higher. It's at $744,000. Average sold price for the 2-bedroom also has been trending down. Earlier in the year, average sold price for 2 bedrooms seemed to be trending up. It's now, since the end of April or so, been trending downwards. And compared to the same week a year ago, $774,000 is 7% lower year over year. When we compare the two, 1-bedroom versus 2-bedroom, there's a $217,000 difference in average sold price. So you could be in a position needing a 2-bedroom but only affording a 1-bedroom, and here's where the decisions come into play. Months of inventory for the 1-bedroom is sitting at 10.6. Months of inventory for the 2-bedroom is sitting at 11.8. And when we look at not so much 1-bedroom versus 2-bedroom, but square footage, the most amount of sales, which was 25, were done in the 600 to 699 square foot range. Average sold price being $593,000, and cost per square foot hovering between $848 to $988. And if I put a line right over here, so basically 800 square feet or more, the average sold price is less than $900 a square foot if you're looking to buy 800 square feet or larger condo. Here's York Region condos. For week ending August the 6th, 40 condos were sold in York Region. York Region did not get the memo that it was a long weekend and sales shot up. And when we look at 40, it's amongst the higher weeks of sales. Average sold price came way down. I put a question mark there because what happened? It's $613,000. Prior to that, overall, it seemed that average sold price in York Region seemed to be trending upwards, but actually this week it's come way down to $613,000. $613,000 is 7% lower year over year. The median price of $573,000 is 13% lower. 40 were sold. 8 of those, so 20%, sold at list price or more. Listings, we have fewer listings. Active listings trending downwards, and 3.5% of all available condos in York Region actually sold. That percentage is higher than what's being sold in Toronto out of all the available condos for sale. Months of inventory down quite a bit from the previous week. We're now at 6.5 months of inventory. Here's Peel Region condos. 22 were sold. 1 of those sold at $1 million or more. Average sold price in Peel Region, and the majority of these condos are being bought and sold in Mississauga. It's way down to, it's at 496,000. Average price has been trending down for a while now, basically the whole year. Compared to this time a year ago, 496 is 16% lower. The median price of 485 is also 16% lower. 22 were sold, 1, so 5% sold at list price or more. Active listings trending down. Listings overall, fewer. And 1.9% of all condos available for sale actually sold. So let's just round it to 2%. That means 98% of all condos for sale in Peel region are still for sale. And months of inventory climbed. You didn't think it was possible to be higher, but months of inventory is higher. We're now at 12.1 months of inventory. Basically, if we continue to buy at the current rate that we're buying in Peel region and keeping the same volume of condos that are available for sale, it'll take a year to buy up all that inventory. Here's a quick summary. We are sitting in a buyer's market, in many cases an extreme buyer's market when it comes to condos across the GTA. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.